Help! Oh, Spin Snaker here with another figure review. Today we have got playing on your YouTube, Marvel Legends Infinite Series, Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot Wave, Drax, boom, baby. What do we think of this bad boy? Honestly, I think he might be actually the strongest in the entire wave. Not much to complain about on this guy. I think he's a really amazing figure, to be honest, and incredibly well done, incredibly well sculpted, great articulation. I feel probably the thing that lets him down the most is maybe the paint apps on the rest of his body, which is all I'm really going to go on about. What do we think as, is it Dave Ballista? I don't know, I don't follow wrestling. I think it's Ballista, that sounds about right, I'm not too sure. Sorry if I'm getting your name wrong. But what do we think of the wrestler, let's just say that, portraying the character? I think it did an amazing job. Very, very cool in the action scenes, very, very cool in the heart-to-heart scenes, and just had this really cool presence about him throughout the entire film. I've seen a few films with Ballista. Oh, is it Ballista? Doesn't sound right. Ballista? I don't know. I'm sorry, correct me. I'm sure you're going to. But I've seen a few films with him in. One of the ones I watched prior to Guardians was... What was that film called? Something about Iron Fist, I think it was. So Warrior of the Iron Fist. And it's not a Marvel film. It's a Kung Fu film. And the film itself wasn't that great, to be honest. But, you know, it's worth a watch. And, yeah, Ballista's... part in that was actually pretty fun. Now, what do we think of Drax the character? Again, I'm not very versed or knowledgeable in this. He seems to be a very kind of like silent, devastatingly powerful character who seems to be very, very good at what he does. That wasn't a dig at you, Wolverine. And in the movie, loved him. Very, very cool. I think maybe my favourite part of him is, I'm just going to say, just like a bit in the prison. That might be one of my favourite parts of him in. And anyway, what do we think of this figure? I think it's great. Like I said, definitely one of the better ones in the entire wave. Maybe the best release in the entire wave. Comes with a total of the 3 accessories, the 2 daggers, and his Groot piece, which is the lower torso. Not going to go over this. As I said, I'm going to be going over this in I do my Groot review. So stay tuned for that. So bye-bye. So let's actually have a closer look at the figure and his accessories. So his daggers are actually really, really nicely done. They have this kind of great, almost alien look to the handle and some etchings going in the blades. They're both identical and they're actually really nice. I think they're a silver, softer rubber because they're softer than Gamora's sword. And they're a bit bendy, which is, personally, I'm not a fan of that. So I might try and actually get some, my buddy Sam Nason to make some casts of these. And I can have some solid ones. Because I don't like how they keep kind of getting bent and warped a bit. I'm not happy with that. But short of that, they're really nice. They have some nice, like, metallic silver wash to them. And, yeah, just really, really well done. There's some great detail in them. And the hand, I think that's showing up really well on the handle. Just show. As you can see, they are identical. So, and he holds them both really, really fine. As for the details on the figure, absolutely amazing. Before we go into this too much, I just want to say that if you do want to see a comparison between the Mattel's wrestling, is it Mattel? Yeah, it's Mattel's WWE Elite wrestling figures of Dave Ballista. I think that's right. I need to look his name up. Then go to Glenn Webb's channel, as he has just done a comparison video of the two. But what do we think of it? I think it's really good. I don't think the green is exactly right, but he was never like this super dark green in the movie. But I do think it's really, really nice. And all of these red markings on his body are all absolutely amazingly done, and they are actually sculpted on and painted. Now, a lot of people have complained that theirs are not perfectly lined up, and mine is no exception. As you can see there's a kind of a bit of a ribbon effect there, but no paint on it. I would hate to be the one to actually paint these, but absolutely amazing. Now, for those of you that don't know, Mr. Ballista, the actor, let's just say that, actually wore silicone parts for all of these tattoos. I don't know if they're tattoos or if they're scars or what. I can't remember. And like I said, I'm not versed on the actual comic, so. But I think the likeness is actually pretty good. Mine's unfortunately got this kind of scuff here. A few problems with mine, actually. There's a bit of paint bleed just there on his shoulder. A scuff there. Another scuff on his bicep there. And I just saw some paint bleed over here on his bicep. And on his forearm. But that was my door. They should come out no problems. And I might even give this guy a repaint. I haven't decided. But all in all, they're very well sculpted and have some amazing detail on them. Just look at that. The amount of effort and time that went into creating this figure, I think, makes up for any faults in the rest of the wave. Because they really, really went to town on this figure. And if you bear in mind, we have got six figures plus a build figure, all completely retooled and remolded, with the exception of Iron Man and Nova being slightly reused. That's a lot of time it takes to do this, and a lot of money that Hasbro have put into this. So I can come a little bit slacked in that they've gone to that far. But still, you know, they have been a bit lazy in certain other things. Paint apps on his trousers. We just have a silver and a buckle there, and no other paint apps on the actual trousers. His boots are a solid black, but they do have a silver buckles going down. But that's the only paints from the waist down. While we're having a close-up, you can see that there is a storage for his knife. As you can see by the shape of the actual blade, that it goes curved backwards. And they just fit in there just like that. Absolutely fine. And also, while we're here, you saw at the side of the video, he can hold his blades just fine. But you can put them in facing upwards. And they kind of hook over the thumb just there. Or you can have them facing downwards. Very menacing. But as you saw, they just go in with the blade facing the back. And they're a very snug fit actually. You have to put a bit of pressure to get them in there. All in all, details amazing. Paint apps, let's just say, I'm going to say better than good, but they're not the best. Love his eyes as well, just look at them eyes. Very menacing. Size comparison. Drax stands to the top of his head. 6.5 inches tall. Star-Lord. Gamora. Apologies for the weird stance, but just having major problems having her stand up on her own. Rocket Raccoon. Groot. Cosmic Iron Man. Nova. A few usual suspects. Bucky Cap. Spider-Girl. And Hyperion. These guys look very similar in bulk, if you ask me, and initially I thought that's what they used for the base for Drax here, but they're not. Here's a complete new mold. Okay, for articulation. Drax's head, is it on a ball? Yeah, there we go, on a ball disc, like the rest. You get a little bit of side to side. You can rotate that around 360 degrees, and you can go up that far, really far, and down to that far, but you kind of get a bit of a weird hunch on the back of his neck there. Shoulders are on borders. They can go around 360 degrees. They can go out that far, and they can rotate at the bicep 360 degrees. Double bend in the elbow, and then a wrist rotation 360 degrees. You can then pivot from there to there, so a great range in that. We have an ab crunch which goes back that far. As you can see, the sculpt is underneath there as well, so that's really impressive. And you can go forward that far. And again, that sculpt is continued underneath there, so they really went to town on this guy. You can rotate him around 360 degrees at his waist, and it is all completely ratchety, every little notch, which is very nice. T-cut hips, so he can do a Spartan kick of that, very respectable. And then a split kick. This is the most surprising thing to, I think, most people, of that. Did not see that coming. That is the best split kick I think we've had since Hasbro have done this new kind of ball joint or ball socket joint hip style. He has an upper thigh rotation 360 degrees, a double bend in the knee of that, nothing in the boot, and then an ankle point from there to there with a pivot from there, and you're going to get slightly hindered by the sheath of his knife, so you can only go to there. So, final thoughts on this figure. Would I recommend him? Without even hesitating, yes. One of the better figures that Hasbro has released in some time. They really did an amazing job on this guy, and as I just said, he's definitely one of the better figures that they've released in some time. There's not really much to complain about this guy, with the exception maybe of his knives would prefer thermoplastic, and maybe some tighter joints, but this is second hand. As I said, I got him from my buddy Brave from Brave's Toy Reviews. I got him along with Star-Lord and Iron Man. All in all, a well-rounded, well-painted, well-sculpted, well-articulated, great figure. Like I said, probably the best one in the entire range. Anyway guys, that is my review. If you have enjoyed this video, please drop me a like down below. Please any comments you'd like to add about this figure or the character. I'm sure you guys are going to tell me the actor's name. As like I said, I'm not a fan of wrestling. I do like his work in movies so far, but you know, please feel free to remind me of what his name is. And yeah, if you'd like to contact me, please contact me via my Facebook. The link is in the description down below. And as per usual, thanks a lot for watching, keep collecting, and I'm going to catch you in my next one.